it being the first very clear.
Cold
I've
emailing.
lived here my whole life.
It's very good to get
Yeah,
out.
this is actually okay. David here. It's the new year. I just want to start it off recording just to start doing this as a habit because I will be doing a lot of recording and documenting this year, this new year 2026, as we see it being the first of January. I'm starting this channel because I'm tired of how online business is usually spoken about. Like, it's either framed as something super easy that anyone can do, or total suffering and pain, and the only thing keeping you up will be the hustle. And come on, I'd say it's mostly decisions, systems, and learning to think clearly for a long enough period of time. But let me tell you the problem with how people build. So most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they build everything on motivation, with manual work, manual selling, manual follow-up, manual everything. And when energy drops, that's where everything breaks. That's where people starts questioning themselves, where stress comes in and inconsistency starts showing up, and just chaotic motives. But what I'm interested in is the opposite approach. Like, how do you remove chaos? Like, how do you build systems that work even when motivation is not there? How do you remove chaos? How do you stop relying on motivation and build sustainable systems? And how do you stop relying on feeling good and start relying on structure, you know? I don't believe that people need more motivation, but that they need better standards. They need fewer moving parts, clearer thinking, and more patience. That applies to business, it applies to fitness, and it applies to life in general. Then again, this channel isn't about proving anything, it's about documenting how I think, how I build, and how I make decisions in real time. Some weeks will look productive and some will not, and that's just how it is in real life. So I'm not promising results, but I'm committing to the process, and I'm choosing to document it openly. So if you want to follow a journey without hype or any shortcuts, you're happily welcome to follow along. But just know that this is only the beginning.
At the start of this year, I didn't sit down with some dramatic New Year's resolution. I just reached a quiet point where I knew something had to change. Not in motivation, but in direction. Like most people, I'm trying to build a better life by making better choices. And when I really thought about it, one thing stood out immediately. Progress gets blocked when your environment is working against you. So I made a practical decision. I moved out of a more expensive apartment into a cheaper one with a friend. Not because it was more comfortable, but it just made sense. At the same time, the place was in terrible condition, like the floors, walls, and everything needed work. But that was kind of the point. Fixing the apartment felt symbolic. Instead of chasing some perfect setup, we worked with what we had and improved it piece by piece. That's really how I want to approach everything this year. Business, health, discipline, thinking, etc. And while all of this was happening, life didn't stop. I was still training, working, and I still showed up on the days that didn't feel productive at all. And during those quiet, repetitive days, I kept asking myself one question. How do I move forward without lying to myself? Not how do I look busy, not how do I sound confident, but how do I actually build something that compounds over time? That's when I started spending more time around people who are already building. Conversations with friends in business, meetings, dinners, just for some perspective shifts. The kind of conversation that force you to be honest about where you're wasting energy and where you're avoiding responsibility. One thing became very clear to me though. This year can't look like the last one with better intentions. It has to be built on better decisions, even when those decisions are uncomfortable or less impressive on the surface. That's why I'm starting this channel. Not to teach from the top or to pretend that I've figured everything out, but to document the process while I'm inside it. And one thing I know is that clarity comes from movement, not from waiting until you feel ready. So this will be a come with me journey, building systems instead of relying on motivation, making decisions that compound, and choosing progress over comfort, even when the results take time to show up. So if you're someone who's trying to build something real, in business, in discipline, or in life, you're welcome to follow along. Cheers.